Hello, my name is Myra Tatum Salcido. I am a senior lecturer at UTPB, where I have been all my life. Um, and it is because I got into literature at a very young age, literature, writing. I made pop up books when I was 7 years old for a 4-year-old cousin who wishes she had kept those pop-up books. And I knew creative writing at a young age somehow intuitively. So I would punish the protagonist to the worst terms, but then the protagonist has to win at the end. And I didn't have that part, so I made my cousin go through extreme measures to get an ice cream cone. She gets it and the scoop falls onto the ground. Pop-up books. She would open every page, it would pop up the way I folded the papers. And she laughed the first time she read it. She laughed and laughed again, and I thought she was going to cry because I thought it was kind of brutal. But I couldn't help myself. And she wishes she kept those books. I have kept a book, Exploring Life Through Literature, 1968 edition in 1971, and I was in junior high, and it's got great stories like The Monkey's Paw, The Invisible Man, The Lottery by Shirley Jackson. I was captivated by this book, but not until a English teacher was reading a poem and she started laughing. Then she started laughing so hard she was crying, and we were like, what is going on with this poem? And she said the person that wrote this poem about tripping through flowers and wildflowers was a very large woman. And I just can't picture her doing this, and it's so silly. And I suddenly got that there are people behind the words. There are people behind poems, literature, and writing. And it has taken me to where I am today. Okay, I was working in a dress shop at retail at age 16 in Midland. And I was reading newspapers on the side all the time. And I told myself, you can do that. You can write as a journalist. So I went to UTPB. I got my degree in communications, which was journalism back in the day, double majored in English. And my double major doesn't even show up. They're saying you can only major in mass communications, and I said I majored in double majored in English, and the English degree is what got me a job in newspapers, because I could write essays. I can develop something, bring it to a point, and say, this is why I brought you so far. And I became a feature writer for the Midland Reporter-Telegram, San Francisco Examiner, Boston Globe News, and more in my 14 years of writing for newspapers. But at some point, I got tired of working 24/7, going to every traffic accident, fires, traumatic, and stuff like that. And I said, cannot do those situations anymore. So I went back to UTPB and started working on a master's degree, which led me to British literature due to the great Dr. Sophia Andres. And I did my thesis on British literature for my master's degree. However, while I was doing that, I thought how nice it would be to get out of newspapers and be a public information director. Well, my writing credentials from English got me into the job of being public information officer for UTPB for 7.5 years, answering to the president of the university. And I wrote for things all over the country, and I wrote articles for UT System, and it was amazing. It was great. And I saw teachers, instructors with PhDs traveling around the country and the globe. And I wrote stories about them doing this, and I said, you know what? I think I'd like to do that. I'd like to go there. And so I did. I waited until I was a grandmother to go to University of Texas of Arlington and earn a doctoral degree in rhetoric and composition. A lot of philosophy, a lot of theory, a lot of writing. So I had the bachelor's degree, double major, journalism, English. Master's degree, English specialization, British literature. PhD specialization in English, rhetoric and composition, which involved a lot of philosophy and theory. And I once had a teacher tell me, oh, don't sit at that table. They're a bunch of theorists. They criticize everything and deconstruct everything, turn it in on themselves. And it's like, I really love that. I learned that in literature. So the places you can go, by Dr. Seuss. Oh, the places you can go. His name was really Theodore Ted Geis. He changed his name to have a more acceptable moniker for what he felt at the time. He has a pen name. So when you take literature, you learn his kind of things, you learn details, you learn great things, and the places I have gone have just been outstanding, astounding. Yeah. I once wrote a paper on gender issues on the book I Am My Own Wife and the real person that lived during the Holocaust. This person was a man who dressed in women's clothes and kept a museum of German artifacts and Jewish artifacts, and this is an amazing drama. If you get a chance to see the play I Am My Own Wife, it's crazy incredible. And I have taught the book Night by Eli Wiesel and The Complete Mouse. Graphic novels. And where have I gone? Well, I just updated my passport because I'm going to go different places. How many conferences have I been to? There's more than that. They're in file folders. And I have been to British Columbia, thinking of going to Vancouver. I went to Buffalo, New York on gender studies. Where can you go as a master's student? Everywhere, even undergraduate. My husband had a minor in English and a major in an MBA. And he still edits my work for me. He helps me because I am a comma abuser. I put them every time I take a breath. I put a comma in and I have to stop and go back. So nobody's perfect. But I also taught a graphic novels course to comic book form. It's trending, it's huge, it's trending in movies, anime, and manga. And I had a small class of 10, and 2 students went to Austin in undergraduate research, presented their papers. One of those students went with me to Comic Con International 2019 in San Diego, and we presented a paper at Comic Con. I didn't even know what it was. I thought I was just submitting our papers to another comic conference. Here's my badge. Yeah, The Walking Dead. I am a fan. But if you take English, minor in it. If you can't major in it, minor in it. But I'm telling you, a master's degree will take you to journalism, media studies, technical writing, professional writing, graphic novels, filmmaking. Oh my gosh, where are you going to go? Everywhere, everywhere. And just do it. The English courses taught me the writing skills. If you could write a great essay, you could be a feature writer for a newspaper. If you can write professionally, you could be a technical writer. There are so many avenues to go to. Gender. I am my own wife. I went to Buffalo, New York to present at a conference on this. Encountering faith in the classroom, turning difficult discussions into constructive engagement. This is my research. You can speak about religion, and oh my gosh, don't we have to? It is enmeshed with politics, everything to this day. Teaching, not preaching. I developed an online course on that. You can follow whatever passion that you have. Even Dr. Rebecca Day Babcock, Writing Centers and Disability. I was born hearing impaired with a rare genetic loss only in women. And just last year, technology developed a hearing aid for me to hear low sounds and high sounds and people's voices, which was the worst not to hear in the classroom. So, yeah, I was challenged a lot. I won't say that I wasn't bullied in school. I was. And everything has changed for me. So, yeah, I have presented papers on disabilities to these conferences, and now I need to start writing papers because people are publishing words that I said at conferences. Undergraduate students can go to conferences. Graduate students can go to conferences. There's plenty of publishing and conferences out there. You like to travel, you like to get your word out, find a mentor, and my gosh, just do it. English has taken me everywhere. Everywhere that I wanted to go. I'm passionate about it. I'm passionate about writing. I need to do more. I teach it a lot because I like to see the wonderful things that writers are doing. I have to thank Rebecca Day Babcock, Todd Richardson, Sophia Andres for getting me into British literature and paintings and visual literacy to recognize what is happening today in the technical world. Digital humanities, animation, manga, and more. So consider minoring in English, but majoring in English is tremendous. Mastering in English, you got this. You can get PhDs in several fields. I went rhetoric and composition, theory of writing, and philosophy. So there are a lot of places you can go, and I'm just telling you, do it. It's great. And so glad you guys are here. Go for it.